Not all probiotics are created equal. New Purina Systemic Supplement remains live and active after the pelleting process and throughout the digestive system, making it all the way to the hind gut. Systemic was designed to support normal recovery after exercise and occasional gastrointestinal stress. Whether you're using a probiotic now or not, it's time to use a live and active supplement from a name you trust. Visit mq.purinamills.com to try a Purina Systemic Probiotic Supplement today. You're listening to Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family. Welcome to Sleep Stories for Equestrians. I'm your host, Ashley Winch. We're so happy you're here to relax and unwind. If you fall asleep and miss the story, we will recap it at the beginning of the next episode. We've also selected and edited these stories for ultimate relaxation, removing any stressful bits without affecting the story's integrity, so you can focus on drifting off to sleep. With that, let's settle down and prepare for our story. The gates are closed, the horses sleep, the day's work done, the chores complete. Now let us rest, our bodies and minds. Drift off to sleep and close your eyes. It's time for us to turn down for the night. Now let's breathe in, breathe out, and turn off the light. One more time. Breathe out, breathe in. Now, let us begin. Today's episode marks the conclusion of our current book, Horses and Their Ancestors. The final chapter is titled Horses in Story and Art. People have loved horses so much that they have made up wonderful stories about them. Thousands of years ago, they told tales of magic horses, horses with wings, horses with horns, and even horses that talked. Perhaps when people first noticed the seahorse, they thought the pretty little creature was a tiny horse that lived in the ocean. We know that the seahorse is really a fish. The ancients thought that Neptune, the god of the sea, rode in a chariot pulled by great seahorses. Too long ago, people still believed in the unicorn, whose name means one horn. They thought it was a splendid horse with a long ivory horn growing out of the center of its forehead. We can still see the unicorn on old shields and tapestries. The Greeks believed that there were creatures who were half man, half horse. They called them centaurs. Some centaurs were very wise and could teach human beings much that they should know. The Greeks also thought that the sun god Apollo drove the fiery horses of the sun across the sky every day. They told a story of how Apollo's son, when he was granted his wish to drive his father's horses, was killed because he was not strong enough to control them. Another Greek story tells of Pegasus, a beautiful horse with wings. No one had ever ridden him until a youth named Bellerophon put a golden bridle over his head and became his master. You may have heard of the famous Trojan horse, the wooden horse of Troy. The hero, Ulysses had a great hollow wooden horse built outside of the gates of the city of Troy, and he hidden it with his men. The people of Troy were told that it was a gift offering and broke down part of the city wall to drag it inside. During the night, Ulysses and his men got out of the horse, opened the city gates, and let the rest of the Greek army in. Troy was beaten by a hollow wooden horse. Like the people of early times, our modern writers have written wonderful stories about horses. In the legend of Sleepy Hollow by Washington Irving, a headless horseman chased poor Ichabod Crane and stole his sweetheart. Gulliver's Travels by Jonathan Swift tells of a land where horses rule over man. These horses were called the made-up name of Houyhnhnms because Swift thought the name sounded like a whinny. Bookstore shelves are crowded with amusing and stirring stories in which the hero is a horse. Horse stories are as popular today as they ever were. Many pieces of music take horses into account too. The famous old song, Do Ye Ken John Peel, sings of John Peel's hounds and his horses. The Ride of the Valkyries, the opening of the third act of a famous opera by the composer Wagner, tells in music of the wild galloping horses ridden by maidens from the Norse heaven Valhalla. Ferde Grofi, in his Grand Canyon Suite, lets you listen to the clip-clop of donkeys' feet as they wind along the trail. If you listen closely, you can hear them bray too. People have been painting horses ever since the days, many thousands of years ago, when man was still living in caves, and they have been painting, drawing, sculpturing, weaving, and using horses in decoration ever since. The ancient Persians often drew beautiful horses in their handwritten books. Chinese artists made lovely blue horses in porcelain. People even put horse designs on plates. Tapestries or woven wall fabrics were needed in years gone by to cover the cold stone walls in castles and palaces. Many wonderful tapestries show horses in war and hunting scenes. In the game of chess, the knight is shown as a horse's head. Many chess sets are finely carved in ivory, jade, gold, and silver, and fine wood. In the modern weaving of Sweden, we find lively horses, and in the design of our own Pennsylvania Dutch. And on the farmer's weather vane that points the direction of the wind over the barn. Horses have affected the games we play, the art we enjoy, the music we listen to, and even our daily speech. Here are some horsey expressions you hear every day. To set the cart before the horse. To do something backward. A dark horse. An unknown candidate who comes up from behind and wins. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Don't find fault with something you got for nothing. A horse of another color. A different thing entirely. You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make it drink. You cannot make people do what they do not want to do. To swap horses in midstream. to change the way you are doing a thing right in the middle of the job. There are many more, of course, and there are horsey expressions that apply to people too. We all know people who are as skittish as colts. We may know people too who are as stubborn as a mule. We all hope that we ourselves show horse sense. It is plain that horses are on our minds more than we realize. We have seen the work they have done for us. We know how they have affected the history of the world. We have seen the part they played in the opening of our own great West. We write about them, paint them, make statues of them, sing about them, and put them into our daily speech. One thing is plain, that the horse must be one of our favorite animals. Thank you for joining us today on Sleep Stories for Equestrians. We hope that this music guides you gently off to dreamland.